Dad gives birth to boy. 4 weeks later, doctor tells him he's still pregnant. Something's wrong. A sharp pain shot through Mark's barely recovered belly. He quickly handed over the baby to his husband and slumped down onto the floor. Something was wrong, very wrong. But when they're rushed to the hospital and got an ultrasound, the source of the pain was something no one in the world would have believed. Always wanted kids. Mark had always wanted kids. He wanted a pile of them running around playing, laughing, and getting into quibbles. He dreamed of Christmas mornings and Halloween evenings. He was sure he would spoil them with love and teach them kindness and tolerance, all the things he was never given. There was just one big problem. Others like him, he and his partner Jeremy, had heard and experienced some of the nightmare stories about coming out or being transsexual. They were understandably scared. Still, the deep rumble of their biological clocks eventually won. If only they had known then the unbelievable event that was coming their way. Aspirational couples. Mark quit his hormones and they tried for months. Through it all, he worried if his body was ready or willing. He stayed strong with inspirational stories of other couples that had done the same thing. After a couple of years, just when they were about to give up, the stick showed a double line. They were pregnant. But then the hate mail and threats started to roll in. Not everyone's happy. Mark had been so excited about their announcement that he didn't imagine it would spread outside of his friends' circle. But one morning, cruel messages from strangers and wishes for deformed or past offspring piled up through social media, and didn't stop. Every night he went to bed bawling. It was an early winter evening when his water finally broke. Baby boy. They held their little boy in their arms and shed tears of joy. Everything the haters had said melted away in the sight of this perfect, pure soul. It felt like his heart would explode. Things seemed fine, and they were eventually allowed to go back home. However, one evening, Mark was washing baby bottles when he felt a new, searing pain. A new pain. It was waves of agony that flowed from his back to his lower abdomen. He slid onto the floor, feeling like he was going to pass out. Fear and confusion clouded his mind and he clutched his stomach. Jeremy rushed to the phone and dialed 911. They both had the same, terrifying fear. The pregnancy had done something to him. Shocked staff. Mark saw the world spin all the way to the hospital. The pain peaked and he upped all over the paramedics. By the time he was wheeled into the examination room, he was bawling. He couldn't even feel the ultrasound wand as it slid over his belly. The nurse's eyes turned white and she leaned in closer to the monitor. "It can't be," she muttered. Still pregnant. Something was wrong. Was he dying? He couldn't be. He had to watch his daughter grow up. He couldn't miss anything. He thought of all the wonderful moments he would never get to be a part of. The nurse turned to them and said, "You're having contractions." Jeremy stood straight and gaped. "That's impossible," he said. "We just had a baby. Twins." "Well," she said, "it's time to have a couple more." "Couple," they said in unison. The nurse checked again. "Yes. You're having twin girls." Even if Mark wanted to argue, he was already too exhausted from the pain. He felt the gurney move and then the familiar coldness of the medical stirrups. It was time. Baby girls. After 6 hours and 53 minutes, 2 little angels arrived into the world, healthy and happy. The dads, however, needed answers. How was any of this even possible? The doctor came in, also looking surprised. "Well, Mark, I've honestly never seen this before. But it seems you're very unique. Double wombs. You have 2 uteruses. It's called double uterus or uterus didelphys." Mark held his twins and shook his head. 2 wombs. He had never heard of anything like this before. "But we had ultrasounds. We had so many checkups," the doctor went on to explain the rarity of the condition. Very rare. When the healthcare workers saw the baby in the front, there was zero need to check other places, especially behind the uterus. The couple held each other and looked at their daughters in astonishment. Mark felt something new, something he could barely put into words. A new feeling. He had always felt like he had been born into the wrong body. It wasn't until the transition did he feel like himself. It also wasn't until he had given birth did he feel in the midst of a real family. At that point, he finally felt normal. He rocked the adorable squirming pink lumps in his arms and felt a new emotion. Something special. It was the awe of life. Nature and the universe truly know no bounds. And what people think is normal, life will quickly show them wrong. Now, as Lee started at his wonderful husband and his growing family, he felt special. His dreams were finally coming true. This coming Christmas would be one to remember.